So the 90s was an interesting time in this part of the world. So there was a war going on at the start of the...
It was hard. It was hard. The finances were not good, you know. In war times, there's not much money around, and it was a little bit hard to get to some of the hardware. But there were always ways. Some duty-free shops actually sold the computers, and some young companies were selling stuff, you know, behind the bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that. So we get our hands on to the really cool stuff. I'm talking about still Amiga days. It wasn't easy, let's say, call it.
So you were buying black market PCs, basically?
I don't know if it's PC or, well, it wasn't black market, it was like...
grey market.
Grey market. It was almost legal.
Yeah.
Amiga was really beloved by it was an amazing machine with awesome games. Each game was pretty different and very creative. The design and the creativity was really blooming at those times. But it was very exciting times.
Do you think the fact that you had to teach yourselves and there were no resources available to you, has that made Crow Team what it is, in a sense, in the terms of you can do it all yourselves?
Well, yes. At that time we didn't have any money. It's not that you get some, you know, like finance and then you start a project. You actually start project. The finance were moms and dads. So basically what we learned is that we need to do pretty much everything by ourselves.
Basically there were no schools, there were no YouTube tutorials, there was basically nothing. I just got that editor, I installed it in my PC at my home, and I started experimenting with it.
So that actually stemmed from the Football Glory to Serious Sam a couple of years later. So we decided there was no way that we could license the engine, not to nearly that kind of money. But we had tools, we had skills, so just say, okay, let's give it a go.
Is it true that you lost people sometimes from your team to the draft, the military draft?
Of course we had a military draft. I also was drafted into military, but so I was away for like a year, something like that. So that's how long you need to be in the army. When there was 6 of us, 7 of us, it was really, when you lose 1 or 2, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
For a year, and you try to compile a game together. It's a big deal.
Tell me about your hunt for a publisher, though, because I don't think that went as well as you were hoping.
No, it was really hard time for us because our parents were paying for what we are doing, you know, renting apartment, computers, and thanks mom, thanks dad, and to everybody who supported us and helped us to be here.
Who did you pitch Serious Sam to?
We pitched it to maybe something like 10 publishers or something, and we got just 2 responses, and both were negative. Then we decided to create a vertical slice, small but polished, and then we put it out onto the internet, and then everything exploded. You know, people, community actually forced, or you know, like forced publishers to get in contact with us. That's how we started.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was actually the weight of the community that.
So that's why we, for the whole life of Crow Team, actually, we are like in depth. We owe to our community, and that we will never forget that.
So it's all about you players.
Yeah.
It's all for you.
We are here because of you guys.
Who showed interest when you finally did your vertical slice demo and the community was starting to bubble?
Publisher, that was actually a group of developers. It was called Gathering of Developers. That's, yeah, from those times.
Okay. So this was Mike Wilson's
I think so.
thing at the time,
Miller
and Harry.
Back then it was something special. It was revolutionary what the guys did.
Their whole thing was about putting the power in the hands of the creators.
Yeah. Also, the publishers had the fair cut there, you know, but back in days, it wasn't like that. You know, publishers were too greedy, in my opinion, and then the guys changed a little bit the landscape of the thing. That was pretty revolutionary, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the spirit that has lived on in Devolver, I guess.
Yeah, you can see that.